All right, we're going to talk about 4.3 multiplying polynomials. We're going to start off here with a small example. So when you multiply polynomials, all you're doing, well, this is a monomial and a polynomial, which just means one term and two terms. All you're doing is distributing, which you've done time and time again. So you're going to multiply. So this is 1x times 5x. It would be 5, and then x times x is x squared. Plus, here we have 1x times 1x squared. Remember, that's the power of 1. When you multiply, you add exponents. So x times x squared is going to be x to the third. Moving over, let's try distributing this one. We're going to multiply here. Negative 2g times g squared is going to be negative 2g to the third. Then negative 2g times negative 2g. Negative times a negative is a positive. 2 times 2 is 4. G times g is g squared. Then we have negative 2g times 2, which is going to be negative 4g. And that one's done. Okay, coming down here, we're going to save this one for class. So we will do this one next time together. Let's go ahead and look at this example down here. I'm going to take x times x to the third, times 3x, and that's going to be 3x squared. X times negative 4 is negative 4x. Now this isn't in parentheses, so we just bring it down. The only thing is now we have to check for like terms. Because we have that extra term behind, we could have something we could combine. So here, these are like terms. They both have x to the first power. So I'm going to combine those right there. Negative 4x minus 5x is negative 9x. Moving on over here. We're going to take 6a times 2a. 6 times 2 is 12. A times a is a squared. 6a times negative b is negative 6ab. Then looking at the second set of parentheses, I have 2a times negative 4a. 2 times negative 4 is negative 8. A times a is a squared. Here we have 2a times 5b. 2 times 5 gives me 10. And a times b just gives me ab. All right, and we will take care of this last one here in class. So let's look at the next page. Or I guess for you, it's farther down on the same page. Right, we're going to talk about multiplying a polynomial and a polynomial. That just means that you have more than one term in each set of parentheses. When you have two in each, we can use the acronym FOIL, which means you multiply the first outside, inside, and then the last. So here I'd multiply the first. X times x is x squared. Oh, let me try that a little smaller. X, and then outside. So the outside of these parentheses would be the x, and then negative 4, which would be negative 4x. And then the inside would be 3 times x, so that's 3x. And the last would be 3 times negative 4, which is negative 12. Then combining the like terms in the middle, negative 4x plus 3x is just negative 1x. And we are done. Now, you don't have to think of it this way, though, however, because it's really just distribution. You take the first term, x, and you multiply it by x, and then you multiply it by -4. Then you took the second term, and you multiplied it by the first, and then the second. So you just distributed both terms. And that's all we're going to do on the next one also. And we'll do this one in different colors to kind of show. We're going to take x times x. That's x squared. Then we're going to move over. X times the next thing is 5x. Then look, this term has gone to both of these, so it's done. So we're going to go to the second one. -2 times x is -2x. Oh, and then right here, lastly, we need to take -2 times 5, because those are the only two that haven't multiplied together at this point. That's -10, and then I combine my like terms here in the middle. And with that, putting those together, when I get 5x minus 2x is 3x. It's positive, so I put a plus, and then bring down my -10. All right, so this one, we're going to multiply first. 3x times 4x, 3 times 4 is 12. X times x is x squared. Then moving on to the next part, we're taking this and multiply it to the second piece. Nope, I meant to change colors. We distributed this to the first one, now we have to distribute it to the second one. 3 times 3 is 9, but we have an x here, so it's 9x. Then here we have 1 times 4. X is just 4x. And the last, 1 times 3 is 3. Then we're going to combine these like terms here in the middle. So my final answer will look like 12x squared plus 9 plus 4 is going to be 13x plus 3. Okay, I want you to pause it and give yourself just a second. I want you to try this one on your own, and we're going to check it in class next time. When you're ready, hit play and we'll try the next one. Okay, moving down here. This is still the exact same as above. We're still just distributing. This term now has to be multiplied to 3 things before I can move on to the second term. The second term will be distributed to all 3 things. So here I'm going to take x times x squared. That's going to give me x to the third. Then I'm going to move over and take x times -2x, which gives me -2x squared. And then this term still hasn't been multiplied by the last, so we're going to go x times 1 is x. Then, looking at the second term, now we're looking at just the 2. We're going to take 2 times x squared is 2x squared. Then 2 times -2x is -4x. And then 2 times 1 is 2. Once again, I have to combine like terms. Remember that they have to be the same variable to the same power. So there's nothing else to the third power. So I'm going to bring that down. But then second, I have -2 and +2. So those cancel each other out. -2 plus +2, that's 0. Then looking at just the x's, I have 1 minus 4. Well, I know that's -3x. My last step is to bring down the +2. Okay, moving on over. Get this one right here. I'm going to start by distributing. So p times p squared is p to the third. P times -4p is -4p squared. And then p to the last one, so p times 2 is 2p. Then we move over. So we have multiplied this first term by all 3 terms. Now we need to multiply the second term by all 3 terms. So negative 3 times p squared is negative 3p squared. Negative 3 times negative 4p is positive 12p. And then negative 3 times positive 2 is negative 6. Okay, ready to combine like terms? I have a p to the third, and then here negative 4p squared minus 3p squared is negative 7p squared. And then 2p plus 12p is 14p. And then minus 6 has nothing to combine with, so I'm going to bring that down. That's my final answer. Okay. This next one here, it has 3 terms, but it's still the same process. You just take each one and multiply it by each piece over here. But we're going to try this one in class together. All right, and let's go ahead and look at the last section. Okay, we are going to talk about area. So we know area for a rectangle is just length times width. So here, that's going to look like 4x plus 1 times 2x minus 3. So to do this, all we have to do is FOIL, or multiply. We're just distributing. So multiplying the first here, we're going to go 4x times 2x is 8x squared. Oh, and I don't need to put a plus sign in front, but we know it's positive. Then take care of the outside, or distribute to the second term. We have 4x minus, or times negative 3 is negative 12x. And then 1 times 2x is 2x. And 1 times negative 3 is just negative 3. Combining my like terms here, my final answer is going to be 8x squared minus 10x, because I have negative 12 plus 2, minus 3. And that is the area of my rectangle. Now when we come over here, it's the same process, except for a triangle is half of a rectangle. So it's 1/2 base times height. So I'm going to say 1/2 of 2x plus 2 times 2x plus 2, the length and the width. Now I can go ahead and take half of this, so half of 2x is x. But be careful, I have to distribute it, so 1/2 of 2 is 1. Now that I have gotten rid of that 1/2, this is just like the previous problem. And I'm going to multiply x times 2x and get 2x squared. X times 2 and get 2x. 1 times 2x and get 2x. And 1 times 2 and get 2. Now, I have 2, if it doesn't freeze on me. Okay, let's see if we can fix this. There we go. We get 2x squared, combining like terms here. 2x plus 2x gives me 4x. And then bring down the plus 2. And there's my final area. Now this last one, it says find the area of the label and envelope. So the label right here is just going to be length times width. Same thing here. We're just going to multiply the length times width. So you can really probably do both of these. Why don't we do the label together, and then you do the area of the envelope on your own, and we will check it. So the label is just x plus 3 times x plus 4. So we start x times x is x squared. And then x times 4 is 4x. And then 3 times x is 3x. And then 3 times 4 is 12. We're going to combine like terms here in the middle. And that's going to give me 7x. And that is going to be the area for our label. Now, see if you can set up and find the area of the envelope. And we will check this one together. And that's the end. Let me know if you need help with 4.3.